My people, my people, my people, my people, my people, my people. I call on that 3 times. My people, now how on a day, this one na Biafra Superstars Media. I say may God bless Biafra and may God bless His Excellency Nnamdi Kanu. May God bless His Excellency, the one and only, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, aka the United States of Biafra, USB. I say may God bless the dragon, the one I love, a man I appreciate, a man I adore, a man who was born for this day, a man who is born for this period in time, a man who was assigned by the God of Biafra to take us to the promised land, a man who in his mother's womb, he was born to do this job, a man even after they gave birth to him, he had an offer on his neck. My people, I speak of no other than His Excellency ESN Ekpa Simon Njoko. I want to say, Simon, we thank you for the job you are doing. We appreciate you. We love you. We know in your hands Biafra is safe. In your hands Biafra is coming. And in your hands, when Biafra comes, the children of Biafra will rejoice. My people, I want to call upon you today. I will make this one very, very brief. I'll be formal in this one. This is not a time to crack jokes. This is not a time to smile or laugh. This is a time to prepare. As the saying goes, there is time and season for everything. Today is a time that we must know that the enemy, they still have their eyes on us. My people, today I want us to reflect on what happened yesterday in the judgment of our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. We saw how the zoo government, they were able to reverse everything they did. All the hard work of our so-called legal team since 2021 when our leader was kidnapped, from all the charges, the counter charges that was brought upon our leader, up to when all the charges were squashed, remaining 7, and the appeal court was called upon to make sure all those other 7 charges were expunged. And they said Nnamdi Kanu should not have any other case to answer in that zoo called Nigeria. But suddenly the zoo government, through Malami, their so-called AGF, he came with the magic. He came with their government magic, where they said Nnamdi Kanu was not acquitted, even though he was discharged. Lo and behold, before you know it, they went to the so-called appeal. They went to the Supreme Court, which took more than so many months to have a date in the Supreme Court. And our leader yesterday, in his absence, because he was not in court, in his absence, they made a judgment, the so-called Supreme Court. They made a judgment that our leader has to go through the trial in the Federal High Court. It's more like a merry-go-round, and I know the design of the enemy is to make us, the Biafrans, to be weary, is to make our mothers, our parents, the elderly to be sick, for them to be stressed out, for them to have anxiety, stroke, and before you know it, some of them might even lose the ghost. That was the intention of the enemy, to strike one more blow in the heart of we the Biafrans. But today, I want to let you know that we must weep not, as the saying goes, weep not, child. You must not cry. Keep your head up high, my people, because I believe They can have the flesh of Nnamdi Kanu, but they don't own the spirit of Nnamdi Kanu. The spirit of Nnamdi Kanu is Biafra, and Biafra is what we the people, the children of Biafra, will achieve. We shall reclaim the land called Biafra through our leader, our Prime Minister, Mazi Ekpa Simon Njoku. Today, my people, I want to speak on what our leader said today, or was it yesterday, during his tour in England, or the UK tour. Our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa briefly spoke on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, on the event, on the saga that we saw happen yesterday. And I want us to listen to Simon Ekpa, and I will come back to make some further revelations. So let's take it back, listen to our Prime Minister, and I'll come back. Listen.
So if a judge can open his mouth to tell you that the Nigerian legal system is not developed, what they are telling you is that you are in the highest impunity, and everything can happen and nothing will happen. That's exactly what is going on. I want to tell Biafra today, go and mark it. What I want to do is your folk plan it with them. What I want to do is to return this case back, and they want to reverse the decision, the verdict of the court. That's exactly what is going to happen. Mark my word today. But you know what? We don't bloody care whatever the reverse is going to be. We don't bloody care what they are going to say at the end of the day. We do not validate the Nigeria terrorist legal system. So whatever they say is not applicable to us. That's what every Biafra must understand from now. That you can never ever respect Nigeria judiciary. They are not for you. For you to be fighting for Biafra, it means that you have invalidated anything legal system in Nigeria. It does not exist. That's what I believe in. You can never ever respect Nigeria judiciary. They are not for you. For you to be fighting for Biafra, it means that you have invalidated anything legal system in Nigeria. It does not exist. That's what I believe in. So we are going to make sure we deprive Nigeria the resources they are getting from Biafra land. That's the next step we're going to take. We'll make sure that that money they are sharing in Abuja coming from oil, we will grant them to zero. And for us to achieve this, we need the cooperation and support of every one of you. Every Biafran all over the world. This is not about Nnamdi Kanu. This is not just about fighting for justice for Nnamdi Kanu. It is about your future. It's about your future, the future of your children, the future of a generation unborn. So what you need to do is to support this particular movement. We will be in our independent nation in very soon. The time we are into now is not the time to make noise. It's not the time to shout. It's the time to go harder on the terrorist Nigeria state. It's time to go harder times 3 of what we will be doing. For them to know that it is time for an iron, to make sure our children are not killed, to make sure that this particular confused and dangerous, impacified legal system is crushed, completely crushed, and they get our freedom. So what is happening today is what I will say, Akachuku there, and without this, a lot of people will not understand what is going on. But this particular incident today will further make a lot of people to understand that what we have been shouting for months now is actually true. And Nnamdi Kanu, God is using him for something. And whatever that they are doing to him today will turn out for the benefit of the Biafra liberation and our freedom. That's all I want to share with you. And then I will allow the United Kingdom to take charge here.
Wow, my PM, God bless you, sir. I really appreciate this statement from our PM. He has said it all, my people. We must look at the bigger picture here, because the issue of Nnamdi Kanu is something we hold dearly in our heart, but we should not allow the cabal, the same game they play all the time, we should not allow them to make us take our eyes off the ball. I will come back to this video, but for now, I need to speak to the president of that so-called Nigeria. You see, Mr. Tinubu, I've been taking my time to do videos for the couple of weeks where I spoke to you and I advised you not to take the sins of Buhari into your own hands. We told you not to take the enemies of Buhari. Do not inherit the problems of Buhari. Because Mr. Tinubu, today I will bring to your notice that before you became a senator in that zoo called Nigeria, there was a time you went to the land of the Biafra and you met with the father of Nnamdi Kanu. And there is a picture to testify to this. The father of Nnamdi Kanu prayed upon your hands. He blessed you and he placed his hands on your head and blessed you. If you don't know the Biafran culture or tradition, you should ask people, ask your mates who are in that your zoo government, what does it mean for a chief, an Igwe, an Eze, to place their hands upon your head and pray for you? Tinubu, do not partake in the war of Buhari, because we the Biafrans, we have no problem with you. We have no issue with you. My people, I want you to know that as a researcher, I did my research on Tinubu. And before you, the main case that they say Nnamdi Kanu has, that when they claimed, oh, he jumped bail and he jumped bail. He went on, he ran away, as they say. He ran away. It makes me to wonder, who will not run or leave when people are coming to kill you? When men are in your house, military men, so-called unknown military men, coming to your house to kill you, who will not run away? Mr. Tinubu, or Alhaji Tinubu, I don't know how to address you. Mr. Tinubu, in 1994, Abacha was after your life when the election of Chief MQ Abiola was annulled. June 12, 1993, you were part of those who were part of the Nadeko freedom fighters, I will use that word, or political activists. And in 1994, you ran away from Nigeria. You went on exile to Britain. When they came to kill you, when Abacha sent his men to kill you, you ran away from Nigeria. You went on exile to the UK, to the United Kingdom. Tinubu, nobody blamed you for running away to spare your life. As the saying goes, he who runs away lives to fight another day. The same vein, in the name of Nnamdi Kanu, in 2017, after he was enjoying his bail from that zoo government, the Buhari government, Buhari chose to send the military down to the home of Nnamdi Kanu, where so many innocent people were gunned down. And due to fate, out of luck, due to sheer luck, our leader was able to escape that mayhem designed to kill him, designed to shut him down. And in the process of escaping from that, he knew he was against the state. He was against the might of the state. He chose to leave. He chose to flee for his life. He went to Israel, where he declared, and he found his way to England. Tinubu, it is the same scenario I'm painting to you. In 1994, Abacha was after your life and you fled. You went on exile. For 4 good years, you were on exile. You did not return to Nigeria until Abacha met his demise. You returned to Nigeria in 1998. I do my research with all due respect. I am a researcher. If it was good for you to flee for your life, as the saying goes, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. If it was good for you to flee for your safety, for your life, for your children, for your family, for your welfare, you left Nigeria because you knew Abacha was after you. Not only that, you went to seek asylum in America. If that was good for you because somebody, the state, was after your life, why would you hold it against Nnamdi Kanu? When we all saw the mayhem, his own was documented. There was video evidence. We saw the lifeless bodies in the home, in the compound of our leader. Even his dog, Jack, was killed. And the mayhem made his parents to feel the pain that they couldn't hold, to the shock of seeing such horror. And within some few more years, his father and mother met their untimely demise. May their soul rest in peace. So I'm calling today on Mr. Tinubu that with all due respect, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If it was okay for you, if it was good enough for you to leave when your life was under threat by the might of the state, Abacha, we know what Abacha did during those days. We, the Biafrans, we also felt it. It was called also Abiola. Those in Lagos, the Biafrans in Lagos, the Biafrans in the Yoruba area, we were running for our life because people were being killed. Every time when issues comes up, it is always the Biafrans. They were being killed. I was a young boy and I saw the elderly in my house. They fled for their life, for safety. Very, very sad. Now, in fact, let's just cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase now. These so-called charges are against Nnamdi Kanu. This charge against Nnamdi Kanu that he imported a radio transmitter. What's the crime of importing a radio transmitter into a country? If you are into broadcast, at the time he was trying to broadcast to the people of Biafra. He was trying to reach out to the people of Biafra. He was trying to make sure he has a medium to communicate, have an effective communication with the people of Biafra. What's the crime with that? What is the crime? Because I've done my research. I have done my research. Still in 1994, Mr. Tinubu or President Tinubu, whatever you want to call yourself, I don't care about that. Mr. Tinubu, you operated what is called Radio Kudirat. It was an activist secret radio where the Nadeko, those who were into Nadeko, you used it to torment Abacha's oppressive regime. You had a radio known as Radio Kudirat. Yourself and your colleagues in Nadeko. I keep saying it. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. The nature of the radio that you had was to reach out to the Yoruba race, to let them know what was happening, to enlighten them, to educate them. So what is the crime of Nnamdi Kanu importing a transmitter, a radio transmitter? If that country was good enough, there was no need for an individual to be importing a radio transmitter to transmit information. Tinubu, I put it on to you. Do not partake. Do not partake. Wash your hands off this case of Nnamdi Kanu, because he has done no wrong. If it was good for you to have a radio known as Radio Kudirat in the 90s, you use it to torment Abacha's regime. You use that radio station to shed light to the ills about the regime of Sani Abacha. Before you fled Nigeria in 1994, you had a radio station. So what is the crime of Nnamdi Kanu? To import a radio transmitter with the intention to transmit radio. Over time, events have moved now. We now have satellite radio, so there is no need to have a physical transmitter by an individual in order to reach people. We now have different mediums or media, different ways to communicate and reach the people. So my fellow Biafrans, I am saying all this to let you know Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer. I am telling President Tinubu that he needs to understand that Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer. Do not partake in the crime of crucifying an innocent man. If you're not a Christian, your wife is a Christian. I believe she's a pastor. Speak to your wife to counsel you or to preach to you about the story of Jesus, where Pontius Pilate, with his wisdom, he had to wash his hands off the case of Jesus. He had every opportunity to play to the gallery, to make the people to love him by killing or crucifying Jesus. But he told them he doesn't want to partake in the sins, or he doesn't want the blood of an innocent man to be upon him. So he washed his hands as a gesture. This was seen by the multitude. He washed his hands off the case of Jesus Christ. So today we are telling Tinubu to wash his hands off this case of Nnamdi Kanu, because he has done nothing wrong. He has done nothing wrong. The same way you fled from Abacha was the same way Nnamdi Kanu fled this country when they came to kill him. He was a whisker away from meeting his demise. Out of sheer luck, by the grace of God, he was able to succeed, or he was able to see through that mayhem. It's a miracle that he's still alive till today. Also, you had a radio you were running, a secret radio. Yours was even a secret radio against the government or the regime of Abacha. President Tinubu, under Nadeko, you have Radio Kudirat. Kudirat was the wife of Chief M.K. Abiola. You used her name to open a radio. A secret radio, which was used to torment Abacha's oppressive regime. You used your radio to torment Abacha's regime. In the case of Nnamdi Kanu, he imported a radio transmitter with the intention, he did not even use it. It was confiscated at the Nigerian port in Lagos. He imported a radio transmission with the intention to reach out to his people, his Biafran people. So which of the crime is graver? Today you are the president of Nigeria. Kudos to you. But today you have chosen to interfere in the case of a man who has done no wrong. If it was okay for you, if you were seen as a champion that you fled Nigeria in 1994 under Nadeko. You went to England. And not only that, you went to America and you seek asylum. You were granted an asylum in America because they saw Abacha as the one coming to kill you. You fled. And now you are being celebrated as the president of Nigeria. So tell me, what's wrong as Nnamdi Kanu done that people came to his house? They came to his house to kill him. More than 28 people were killed in that house. They spared nothing in his house. Not even his dog. And with the trauma, the stress, it led to the death of his parents, his father and mother. Mind you, his father was the Igwe that blessed you, prayed for you, laid his hands upon your head, blessed you to be where you are now. And suddenly, the man who blessed you, the Eze who blessed you, you are now the one putting his son under all these persecutions for no reason. Tinubu, once again, I'll tell you to please, I'm calling upon you to wash your hands of this case. Because with the actions that you did yesterday, for the fact you interfered with the Supreme Court, making them to reverse all the agreements in the courts that was reached, all the judgment that was reached. It means Nnamdi Kanu, the 2.5 years he has spent in the DSS detention, was to no avail. The case is to restart all over again. Tinubu, wash your hands of this case. Do not take the wars of Buhari. Because when I put the life of Nnamdi Kanu against yours, all what he's being accused of is exactly what you did. And in your own case, you are now the president. You go to God, you pray to God, you thank God for making you a president. Your wife, your children, they go to the church, they give thanksgiving that God has made you a president, that you felt good fighting against Abacha, the regime of Abacha. It's in your resume. You are a member of Nadeko, a highly revered group. But the same thing Nnamdi Kanu is doing now, our leader Nnamdi Kanu is going through the same thing. But you are here ready to take after Buhari to crucify him. My fellow Biafrans, I want to tell us to please keep our head up, stay strong, be resolute. We know what we have to do. Because if Tinubu kept on going on, despite all what Abacha did to them, they opened the radio station and Abacha had to kill the wife of Mko Abiola. What's her name again? I think Kudirat was killed because of the radio station. She was killed because she allowed Nadeko to use her name to open a radio station. Plus some other things that happened. Other things also transpired. If it was good for Tinubu then, it is good for Nnamdi Kanu now. Which is why we are saying keep your head up. Do not be distracted. This is not a time to stop. This is not a time to panic. This is not a time to cry and blame yourself. We must remain resolute. We must remain focused in this job. We must support our leader, Mazi Ekpa Simon and Joko. the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile. We must support him. We must keep our eyes on the prize. Because if we have stopped by now, those that ask us not to do anything, just keep quiet and allow our so-called politicians to do what they were doing. You've all seen the outcome. When the politicians do have it their way, what you saw on Friday, the 15th of December, is the outcome, the ultimate outcome. So if Tinubu kept on fighting for his Nadeko movement, so should we, the Biafrans, keep on fighting. We must keep on fighting, fight the good fight. And before I go, I want us to listen again to the words of wisdom from our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. Listen for those that have ears. Lend me your ears. Listen.
So if a judge can open his mouth to tell you that the electoral legal system is not developed, what they are telling you is that you are in the highest impunity and everything can happen and nothing will happen. That's exactly what is going on. I want to tell Biafra today, go and mark it. What I want to do, if your folk plan it with them. What I want to do is to return this case back and they want to reverse the decision, the verdict of the court.
Their intention is to return this case back to the way it was and reverse the decisions of the court. The intention is to reverse the decision of the court. A merry-go-round. They want to waste his time. They might have the flesh of Nnamdi Kanu, but they don't have the spirit of Nnamdi Kanu. 2.5 years wasted of a man's life. To the Zoom media, you keep saying he jumped bail, he jumped bail, he jumped bail. I bet you one day you will all face the same situation. The intention of the Zoo government is to reverse the case back to square one, to take it back to where it started from. That's the game. Which is why I'm saying we must keep our eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the ball. You know the goal. Keep focusing on the goal. My PM, focus on the goal. We love you. We thank you for opening our eyes, for letting us know the way things are. Listen.
That's exactly what is going to happen. Mark my word today. But you know what? We don't bloody care whatever the reverse is going to be. We don't bloody care what they are going to say at the end of the day. We do not validate the Nigeria terrorist legal system. So whatever they say is not applicable to us. That's what every Biafra must understand from now. That you can never ever respect Nigeria judiciary.
Boom.
They are not for you.
Boom. Whatever they say, it doesn't apply to us. Let them say what they want to say. Which was yesterday I told you guys, do not worry about it. We know their games and their tactics. They will frustrate you. Before you know it now, by March, April, May, they will come up with some new charges. They go to court by August, September, it will be dropped again. And before you know it, something else will happen. Tinubu, do not partake. Wash your hands off while you have time, because we don't have any issues with the Yorubas. Tinubu, we don't have any problem with your government. We don't have any issue with you. Allow Nnamdi Kanu to go. We have no issue with you. We have no problem with you, Tinubu. Do not inherit the problems of Buhari. Because with your actions that you did yesterday, you officially placed yourself into that box you officially stepped in to continue from where Buhari stopped. You said that during your election that you will continue from where Buhari stopped. And so far, in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, you've actually practiced what you preached. Very, very sad. Listen, let's continue.
For you to be fighting for Biafra, it means that you have invalidated anything legal system in Nigeria. It does not exist. That's what I believe in. So we are going to make sure we deprive Nigeria the resources they are getting from Biafra land. That's the next step we're going to take. We'll make sure that that money they are sharing in Abuja coming from oil, we will grant them to zero. And for us to achieve this, we need the cooperation and support of every one of you. Every Biafran all over the world. This is not about Nnamdi Kanu. This is not just about fighting for justice for Nnamdi Kanu. It is about your future. It's about your future, the future of your children, the future of a generation unborn.
Boom. Ah, my PM, God bless you, sir. This is about the future of Biafrans. Your freedom is bigger than one man. And Nnamdi Kanu knows this, which is why he told us we must listen to Simon Ekpa and share his videos, because Simon was coming with a new dimension. He told us from the beginning. And Nnamdi Kanu has done his job. It's left for us to look at the bigger picture. He has done his job. And Simon is the one to complete his job. As the saying goes, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. The theme there is, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. In this case, Nnamdi Kanu knew what was coming. He knew when they were about to come and get him. And he told us he has prayed in the private to God, and now he was going to make his prayer to be in the public. Normally, people don't pray in the public. But because he wanted his prophecy to come to pass, which is why he now said, Papa, I need men. I need 100 men. Men who were born for this assignment. I did not say boys. I say I need men. Men who know the assignments in their mother's womb. You see that? So, Nnamdi Kanu has done everything. His prophecy has come to pass. They have the flesh of Nnamdi Kanu, not his spirit. His spirit is Biafra. So we cannot allow the Zoo government to delay our Biafra. Yes, they have his flesh. But that doesn't mean we will now stop what we are doing. He has told us to listen to his disciple, his most loved, his most beloved, his most trusted disciple. And so far, in the past two years, we've seen what Simon has been doing. So what else are we looking for? My dear friends, what else are we looking for? Let's continue, my PM. Let's continue.
What you need to do is to support this particular movement. We will be in our independent nation in very soon. The time we are into now is not the time to make noise. It's not the time to shout. It's the time to go harder on the terrorist Nigeria state. It's time to go harder times 3 of what we will be doing. For them to know that it is time for an iron, to make sure our children are not killed, to make sure that this particular confused and dangerous, impacified legal system is crushed, completely crushed, and they get our freedom. So, what is happening today is what I will say, Akachuku there, and without this, a lot of people will not understand what is going on.
Wow, my Lord, my God, have mercy. Thank you, my PM. Grand opening, grand closing. What is going on today, there is a hand of God in it.
Ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike prime minista ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike Biafra ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike Pentecost ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike dragon ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike jaju ndị nzama ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị 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 ike dragon ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike prime minista ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị ike Pentecost ike dị n'ụdị n'ụdị dragon ka ị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana dragon ka ị ga-eso my dragon ka ị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana dragon ka ị ga-eso MNK ka ị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana MNK ka ị ga-eso MNK ka ị ga-eso ma ọ na-ejeje ma ọ na-ana MNK ka ị ga-eso